Hello everyone, my name is Garrett Oakamber, and this is a little bit of a slideshow picture of Dark and Light. I have repurchased the game for the sole intention of attempting to bring to you some manner of review and possibly a series. At the moment, it's looking a little bit dismal. Both the game itself and, of course, the ability to actually record it, because as you know, if you've seen my former video, Fraps does not work with this game, which is a problem. So, in this first picture here, we have my character, which I worked pretty hard to get the details the way I wanted. She's amazing, she's awesome. And then in the next picture here, we have Bane photobombing me, but it's okay. I mean, his staff is just in my face. That's okay, I'm gonna look at my little fairy, it doesn't matter. In the following pictures, we will see gold farmer bodies that have been left to rot, including one that is technically unconscious and about to die, but for whatever reason is standing straight as a signpost. The Chinese have once again attempted to invade this game with the hopes of getting money from Americans and other players, just as they did in World of Warcraft. Now, the issue here is that getting gold in this game is actually incredibly hard to do, and you can also farm it from the literal barrels right next to these fuckers. So it's kind of pointless. On top of this, don't they realize that putting a bot in the town square isn't going to work, because the characters can literally catch a cold and die if it rains? Bots don't know to collect resources and stay alive, so your gold farming attempts will not work. In addition to this, there's actually a literal fatigue and stamina bar. Stamina, running around, swinging a weapon, blah blah blah, you can knock yourself unconscious. Fatigue, you will literally pass out and potentially die if you don't sleep. That is a beautiful design. I don't like that. That is not a good system. Remove it. By the way, you need to be level 10 to craft a bedroll. By the way, you will also get fatigued really quickly. After, I think, 3 game days or something like that, your character will start to get very sleepy. There are flowers you can eat to remedy this situation, because I know whenever I feel tired, I just eat a bunch of poisonous-looking flowers. That's a great idea. Well, they don't tell you this information. You have to literally wiki it. You have to look it up elsewhere. There's no information on it whatsoever. It just says, warning, you are very fatigued. You need to sleep. I was looking at goblins, I was trying to kill them, and I discovered a tree man in a tree. This is a Trent, levitating inside of a tree. This gave us an easy kill on one of these big bastards, because he literally couldn't run away. I kept shoving daggers in his ass, setting him on fire, and that proved to be a very adequate strategy, while Bane, erstwhile, was slapping him with his sword, I think it was, or his axe, as his feet dangled lower and lower. He eventually did reach the ground, not until a final dagger in the back did him in. It was rather entertaining, to say the least, and I'm not going to blame the game for collision issues. That's something that happens in a lot of games. I mean, hell, in Saints Row, you can drive your hand through someone's face when you're out of combat, and they don't seem at all affected by it. I don't know about you, but in reality, I can't just phase through a human body and everyone's okay, not worse for wear. In this game, yeah, there's a lot of collision issues. Not as bad as Citadel, though. I will say that. Citadel has an issue where the Pirate, when tamed, will be allergic to rocks and trees. He literally won't go anywhere near them. That is a problem. In this game, they just happen to climb said objects. Beautiful looking game, terrifying when you think of Trents waiting for you in trees. That can happen. We're in the spawn area for the elves, so I haven't seen creatures be actively hostile unless you attack them. The only creature that's actively hostile is the goblin. It will literally slowly pursue you until it knocks you out. It's kind of like the kinder version of the Tonberry from Final Fantasy. instead of knifing you in your gut and leaving you for dead, it knocks you the F out, dealing a small amount of damage, and then taking your belongings away, giggling to itself. We found a lot of goblin chests with player loot at the starting area because people didn't know to stay away from goblins. Kind of funny. Now, I need to say it. This game has a lot of ping issues, and as I was playing, I noticed the ping gets worse. Like, it's not just the graphics. You can set them on the lowest setting imaginable. You get near trees, you get near rocks, anything that could potentially be of spawnable and just in your way, a physical object, causes an immense amount of stutter on occasion. The game needs optimization, plain and simple. Speaking of optimization, just you wait. There are some problems with this game I have never seen before as long as I live and breathe. Feast your eyes on this. I can't even look at these pictures without remembering this very simple fact that there's something to do with model resizing and collision. This is what happens when you fire a projectile at a bunny rabbit in the game. I threw a dagger, and I took many pictures because I was in disbelief. I wasn't sure what was happening. I had to make sure I had proof of this. I'm still angry I can't record this at the moment, but the very fact that I was able to record it via pictures is hilarious to me, that it's even real. I thought it was a trick of my eyes at first. The first time I was like, well, maybe just something weird happened. Persistently, every time you strike a bunny rabbit with a projectile, the projectile will shoot up in size to an immense size. With the dagger, it appears to be a giant block. Even at nighttime, you can see it just moving on the horizon there. I was in pure disbelief as to what I had just witnessed. What have I done to this creature? When it comes to optimization of your game, also keep in mind you need to optimize how character models work, collision works. You need to make sure that your game is going to work the way it should work. I would think a dagger striking the butt of an animal was one of the more important things on your list to do when you began to release your game, but apparently not. And this was the best part, when I finally unlocked the bow and arrows. The greatest thing I've ever achieved in the history of gaming was to shoot a rabbit and have the arrows become Goliath-sized arrows. For a lot of the problems that this game has, it was actually running pretty smooth, considering there was an arrow the size of Minas Tirith roaming around on its own volition. During this shot here, Bane was actually looking in my general direction, saw this fucking arrow moving on the horizon, and he nearly died of laughter. I can't even... Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you, what happened? What happened to this game? You say it's almost done. You say we're getting ready for a fall release. And then you decide to try to beat... you try to beat Citadel by releasing this game 6 days earlier. You say at the start of the game launch, this game is only 30% done. This is inexcusable. Inexcusable. It's not that your game is 30% done that's inexcusable, it's the fact that you said it was nearly done. And then you decided to compete with a game that you couldn't compete with. What the hell am I watching? That arrow is the penis of the world. Look how big it is. I could build a castle on that thing. Look at the house. Look at the comparison. I don't want to rage, but I'm actually quite fucking laughing about this. I'm angry, and I'm pleased at the same time. Dark and Light is a beautiful game. What the fuck is that? Look at that arrow! Are you kidding me? It's casting a shadow that could blot out the sun. It doesn't need other arrows. It is the largest thing in the world. There isn't a single creature in Dark and Light the size of that arrow. Imagine if that was an ability. Just fire that from your bow. You kill 3,000 people with one shot. I don't even know. I can't. I get emotional. I giggle. I can't look at these pictures without thinking to myself, what the fuck went wrong? What went wrong? I can't. Why did I rebuy the game? I refunded it. Why did I rebuy it? I have said over and over again, if you believe in something, if you believe in a game, you need to fund it. Because it's you. Your actual viewpoint. Your stance on the game. You should support. Support, show it. That's how this stuff gets worked on. That's how this stuff becomes reality. You have somebody who says to themselves, I really like voxel games, but there aren't many voxel games in the world. I'm gonna create something no one's ever seen before. Bam! Minecraft happens. Why? Because the first person that thinks of it says, I'm going to put my mind and efforts towards it. And money. And then other people start back, and it becomes a big game. Oh, I don't know. Maybe we should start creating a world with all little characters. You're gonna have dwarves and elves and orcs and all this shit. We're gonna mash them up and let the players decide where it goes from there. Oh, World of Warcraft! Oh my god, pay for it! People do. That's a game. So what do we have here? We have Dark and Light. Fantasy, open world, Unreal Engine game. Awesome character creation. If you could say anything about the game, it has amazing character creation. But, you gotta believe in the game. Not enough people had time to support this. I don't think there was a Kickstarter for this. I could be wrong. I don't think there was a Kickstarter. And if there was, it almost was unheard of. So, here's the problem. You come out with your game, you're like, we have huge hopes for this. And somewhere along the lines, it got really messy. And you had somebody pushing to get this game released before a similar game was released. And that game is stomping you. Citadel is stomping Dark and Light. Does it deserve to? Well, yes. Because it was actually worked on with enough care that it is a functioning game, albeit easily beaten, and there isn't much content outside of what you can see, but it is really fun, and it works. This game is really fun in practice, but it's becoming a meme. Dark and Light is becoming a meme. And it shouldn't be a meme, it should be a game that inspires wonder and adventure. Role-playing. Like, people are role-playing this game, and they're having a great time. But you're not seeing its own potential, and you're not working fast enough to fix the errors that deserve to be worked on. The gigantic arrow error, okay, that's not the worst thing in the world. But dear fucking God, fix the loading screens! Make it so people with fraps can actually record their gameplay. I'm having to learn a whole new program just to see if I can actually make a decent video or series about this. Anyways, this rant is brought to you by myself, me, and I, and all states of my sanity as I am losing it, because the stuff that you see here should not happen in an early access game. Early access games are designed to get your hands on that game a little bit earlier than its release. This is not a place to dump alpha and beta products unless otherwise specified. In that case, you say this is not an early access game, this is an alpha game. Alpha games are games that are just becoming playable. Beta games are games that have most of the systems in place. They are playable, but they're incredibly glitchy. This is a beta. You haven't even got to the next rung yet. This is not early access. Early access is not a place to dump an unpolished 30% done product. You don't do that. That is just that's why Steam is being abused by people. It is being abused by the small indie devs, and even large game companies are putting their games out that aren't even finished yet. I can name dozens of games that have had time to mature. And those games deserve to be on Steam or early access because they've had enough care taken to make sure they play. But then you have people who just pump out games left and right. And these games are just not ready. They're not ready for consumption, or at the very least, they're saying it's early access when it's not early access. You know damn well what early access is, and you don't do that. You don't put out a game that's a beta on early access. If you're going to put it on the early access program, you need to say, this is not an early access game, this is a beta or an alpha. 7 Days to Die has been an alpha for years. I started the majority of this channel. Many of you watching this have watched my 7 Days to Die videos. That game is a playable alpha, a very good one at that. If that game is an alpha, and it still is, can you imagine what it's going to be like when it's finally released? It reached the early access program because it was a good game in its state. And then I believe it's actually out of early access, even though it's an alpha. It retains this. They never lied about it. They never said the game is finished. It's not finished. It's not even close to being finished. And this game, Dark and Light, 25 to 30 minutes to spawn into a server. Your ping is gonna be shit no matter where you go. And dear God, the stuttering, perma-killed NPCs, you can't actually rent a house, even though the feature says it's there. I had almost 40 gold pieces, 30 gold pieces to rent. Why can't I rent a house? I don't know. That's a mystery. And then on top of it all, dead gold farmer bodies clogging up the server memory. Giant fucking projectiles sticking out of animals. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Is it a fun game, though? I actually had fun. I had fun. This video isn't saying I didn't have fun. The video is saying I had a lot of fun. And if you like what you see in these pictures, check out some of the real videos that people have done. Go to another channel. Check out their stuff. I am sorry I can't record it right now. I'm going to try to record it as soon as I'm able to learn OBS. I'm one of those guys who have never touched it, so it's going to be a while before I figure it out and I'm confident with it. But I'm going to end this video because it's really just a rant for what it is. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. I didn't know where to go with this. I just had to get my feelings out. So yeah, if you want to see a game that actually works on release, check out my Citadel Forged with Fire videos. And if you want to see a game that is a amazing alpha and is continuing to impress and terrify the masses, check out my State of Decay series. Thank you so much for watching. You want to support this video and see more like it, leave a like in the comments below. Let me know what you think of Dark and Light in the comments, please. I want to hear what you say. What have you done in the game? What have you seen? What are the good things? I want to hear about the good things. This video is not intended to shit on the game, even though it sounds like it. It is a literal reaction to what I just went through. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a less stressful day than I did. Bye.